Hello and welcome back to Scriptcase by Jamie, and I know it has been a few weeks now. That is because we've been inundated with some terrible, even horrific storms for some. Anyway, let's dive in and see what's coming up next. So hello and welcome back to the channel. I know it has been a few weeks now. What, 4 I believe? It would have been week 5 next week already. Oh my god. But yes, we lost our fiber connection 1 week before the storm went down. We had 2 technicians come out, and on the day of the storm was when we got it resolved. So we ended up having maybe 3 hours of internet connection, which is really a shame because I had uploaded the LaNMan version 3 already, and it had been sat on YouTube for the last few weeks. Now, last night, yes, late last night, we got our fiber connection back again. Or it may have been sometime during the day yesterday, just we weren't home. And well, it's working now. And for that reason, well, Landman version 3 will be posted today. Okay, so you will be able to check that out. And since I posted it, well, there's been a few changes that I'm going to make to it. Now, for the last 3 weeks, basically my PC has everything. It's been off because that first storm really smacked the crap out of this country. Anyway, let's have a look at that, shall we, before we continue on with anything else. So we see here an Instagram channel. This is We Are Portugal. Nice little channel here. And you can see back here already all these storm indicators. This is pretty much what's been happening here. Now I'm going to open 1 or 2 of these here, because this is just pretty crazy. The amount of damage that has been done in this country. Now, this is in Nazaré, and you may know Nazaré from some of the largest waves in the world. And I can tell you, Nazaré has never looked like this before. It never had this damage in the 20 years of me living here now, which is pretty crazy. And it gets worse than that, because that's just, on the beach. That's just the beach. In Nazaré, where you expect the large waves. You see the waves, how big they are there, and yeah, it's one of the most famous places. So let's continue on here a little bit, and you can see some of the damages of trees here, literally split in half, just completely broken, destroyed. And I tell you, that is everywhere around here. Now, if you may remember, we moved from Santarém, which is more central, and in 2018 there was a pretty horrific storm in that area. And people actually say here it was much worse. But okay, I never come to this area at that time. But I can tell you, I've been helping over the last 3-4 weeks now, running around in the area, helping people as much as I can, of course, because some people have really taken a bit of a hit. At the same time, I've been sat on my rear end doing nothing, with everything switched off because the power has been, well, up and down like a bloody yo-yo. Not only that, we had no phone signal, no internet, no nothing. It's been pretty crazy. Now, this one here is the Rio Zirza. This isn't far from here, and well, this is pretty, yeah, you see, it's pretty ravaging right now, right? And this is pretty much what it's looking like today still, because this hasn't stopped. It has been 4 storms with today's, or since last night. We've been in our 4th storm now. I think they called this one Oriana, and it should be the off switch apparently, and it should be bringing us some nice weather again, so I sure hope so. Because even the Douro River, well, that burst its banks. We have the A1 looking pretty much like this. Okay, this isn't the A1, which is one of the main roads, or main highways, should I say, from this area down to Lisbon. And well, it's pretty much looking like this now. They're saying it's going to take a few months to fix, so that isn't really good. Now we can continue on here, and there's a nice little aerial view here of some of the flooding that has occurred around those river areas, and of course on some beach areas as well, because there are reports of some buildings actually falling in, from the mountainside, and the mountainside is just collapsing with the amount of rain that has happened over the last few weeks. And this is pretty crazy. The amount of damage, not only in this area, but everywhere else. And I think in some areas it is so much worse because it was just never expected, never known that you would have weather like this, really. And like I say, in the 20 years of me living here, I've never had this experience here. And I know my wife is a few years older than me, and being Portuguese, she's lived here all her life. She also says the same thing. So it's pretty crazy what's happening in the world right now. Of course, I'm going to say it's not going to get better. It's only going to get worse, right? Because that's what it is. But yeah, a lot of people are really struggling now. So like I said, I've been running around a little bit helping people. I've been chopping trees up with some of the guys, and even on my own, just clearing the tracks, clearing some of the roads, clearing some of those back alleys that nobody can go up just, with a quad bike or a motorbike. So I've been clearing those as well. And at the same time, collecting wood for next year so that it's not just laying around ready for fires in summer, which is going to be pretty nasty. And you see here, a nasty landslide over this poor guy's house. Yeah, some of these people are never going to recover from this, especially with the awesome government you have here that says, well, we'll just give you all loans. Don't worry about it. You just take a loan from the bank. And I can tell you the majority of people, well, they can't take loans. They work paycheck to paycheck, just like the majority of people on this planet, funny enough. And wow, it's pretty crazy. And here you see one of the main bridges. The bridge is underwater. They literally closed this one off. Now, this isn't far from, actually, this is one of the construction photos, but it is one of the main bridges from Santarém over to the other side, and it is completely covered. They actually closed it off yesterday, and because the water has risen so much, it's going across the bridge, which is pretty crazy. Now, it's obviously not these bridges here, but it's a main bridge across the river there. Now, I know the River Douro looks like an ocean right now, and it is pretty crazy. So the amount of destruction you have in a lot of these towns, especially Figueira de Foz, I think, Leiria and so forth, they're not far from here. They're just down the coast side, and maybe Coimbra as well has had a lot of damage as well, which is just 20-30 minutes from here. And well, it's pretty horrific. And I can tell you, just from that first storm, there was registered 210 kilometers an hour winds, which is pretty damn crazy, just up the mountain from here. And yeah, like I say, you've got trees down everywhere. Thankfully, everyone in the village where I am, we're all okay, but just a couple of friends, just 5 minutes walk down the valley. Well, they're inundated and surrounded by new oceans, let's say. It's pretty crazy, but this is of course the world that we are entering to. And here you see one of the main roads. This is the National 118, and of course this is actually a road, so you should be able to drive across there. And well, you forget it right now. The amount of water that has fallen in the last 3-4 weeks is insane, absolutely insane. Of course, all of the dams, they've been releasing thousands of liters of water a second just out into the river, and that doesn't help either now, does it? But that's what we have been going through over the last 3-4 weeks. And during that time, well, there's been a few updates as well, right? Not only with the weather, the destruction of Portugal, because half of the country is pretty much demolished now. And yeah, it's what it is. It's what it is. What can you do about it? It's the world that we live in today, right? So, of course, you're going to have lots of areas which are not doing so well. Like here, you have, this isn't really a big deal, is it? A bit of fluff that's just coming up from the river or the ocean or wherever that's coming from. It's not so bad. But in some places, it has been horrendous. Like you just see some of these roads completely covered with water, and they haven't been covered like that before. Otherwise they would have built them higher, right? Makes sense, doesn't it? So it's a bit of a mess. Okay, anyway, I think that's it for the weather. Let's dive into some Scriptcase, shall we? So as I was saying, there have been a lot of updates. I've had LaNMan version 3 sat on the YouTube channel just without any description, no title, no image, no nothing. And I think when I just went to add it this morning again, it was actually removed. So I guess they have some sort of limit there as how long a video can be sat there. Anyway, I've uploaded it again. I've added the description. I've also set it live for today, so you should have that this afternoon, and you can check that out and have a look at the progress that I made up to 4 weeks ago. And there are a lot of changes. And since then, well, Scriptcase have released what? A roadmap, as well as an update to PHP 8.2. Now, you have here on the Scriptcase website, now if you just come to the Scriptcase website, you have up here the Learn More, and then you have here some instructions on how you can migrate. Now, personally, I don't think I am going to migrate, because 8.2 is great, but I have a few systems that they don't support 8.2. They skipped 8.2 and went to 8.3. So I'm banging my head against the wall a little bit on this one. So I was really hoping for 8.3 at least. I'm sure some of you probably are in the same boat. But it's what it is. What can you say? So I guess on my local version where I'll be doing some videos and so forth, maybe there I will update to the 8.2. But my main version, well, no, that's going to stay on 8.1, I'm afraid, until 8.3 at least is available. Now, I hope it becomes available, and I hope it's not going to take a year for that one either. But let's see, shall we? Who knows? Now, with that, we also had a roadmap with some new AI features, which seem to be pretty interesting. Of course, it is not here on the website that I'm seeing, and I had seen a video of that over on the Scriptcase channel the other day. So do check that out. It's worth checking and seeing. I'm very curious to see how that is going to work with some of the complex platforms that we actually develop within Scriptcase. I'm pretty sure though, for those basic systems, it's going to be pretty damn awesome. Especially from what I was reading, it will be creating the database for you and so forth, and creating you your basic platform. Now, one warning I will give there, because it's always the one that some people get caught up on. When you will go ahead and just create your platform like that, it's the same as just generating them within Scriptcase itself. The modifications or the adjustments, they're going to take you some time because there's a lot of clicky boxes, as you know. So I will be curious to see how that will work, and whether some of those features and functionalities that we will be wanting within specific applications, whether one, the prompt can handle that, and secondly, how that is going to come out. But that is of course why NetMake/Scriptcase has been taking a little while with the release of the AI integration. Now, I am seriously hoping on that side that it supports local LLMs, because if it doesn't, again, as a lot of you maybe know, there is a ChatGPT craziness going on right now. Everyone's been told to cancel their subscriptions, and I've pretty much been saying it all along. OpenAI will more than likely be one of those companies that just appears and vanishes again, because Gemini, right? And was it Claude and Anthropic and all of the other companies that actually have better LLMs available, funny enough. Okay, so with that, I hope that we have some decent upgrades there, and like I said, I really hope that it supports a local LLM, because that's what I've been using for the last couple of months. Well, not the last 4 weeks, but yes, that's what I've been using locally, and not to share your data and information and serial numbers and whatever else with, of course, these big companies that just suck you dry and give you nothing in return. Yeah. That's the way it is, right? And I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. Of course, we are all changing very soon from AI to AI, if you want to call it that, because, well, LLMs is what it is. And as some of you maybe noticed, some of these LLMs have actually got really damn smart and really good, super functional. Okay, it can save you maybe 50% of the time, but at the same time, it can cost you maybe 20% of your time just trying to get everything working as you want. So we're going to see how that works in Scriptcase. Hopefully it will be awesome, because of course I hope it'll be awesome. And other than that, well, I think I'll leave it at that for today. Now, I will be actually posting some more videos, so I have the weekend planned already. So today being Friday, the 13th, of February even, I will we'll be making plans to actually record a load of videos as much as I can next week, and of course start Macro Friday again, as well as have a few videos during the week on a few various topics. So I hope that you will be here, of course. Check those out, enjoy them, like them, watch them, and all the usual. And of course, as per usual, if you have any work I could sure do with it now, especially after 3-4 weeks of hiatus, you could say. In fact, I did check out the co-working space in town, which is pretty damn awesome, and I did do some work down there that was needed, but at the same time, for recording videos, I have my setup here. It's just impossible for me to do that there, and at the same time, it's a case of me screaming and shouting, "Hey, and welcome to Scriptcase by Jamie," when there's 3 or 4 poor other buggers there working their rear ends off, and yes, I would just be interrupting them, so I did not like that idea. So for that reason, I figured it's just best to shut everything off, leave it all down for a couple of weeks until the sunshine comes out again. So just chucking it down like 5 minutes ago, and now the sun is coming out. As I said, this Oriana storm should be the off switch. I sure hope so, because where I was living previously, just 50, 80 kilometers away, I think it is, they have 18, 20 degrees today, which is pretty crazy. Also, one of the reasons why I moved from there, because it was just too hot for me. So summer there will be a killer this year, I think. And here, it's going to be comfortable. That's why we moved here. A little more comfort up in the mountains, safety from the wind as well, because we have mountains surrounding us, and we're kind of not in the valley, let's say, but we're up high in the mountain. So yes, as I said, there's a lot of damage up here too, but it's not as bad as in some of these areas. Yes, power lines down. Yes, fiber lines down, and no phone signal. In fact, still not today. Still no phone signal. Emergency calls at least, though, because there was about 2 weeks of not even being able to make an emergency call. Damn, that hurt. That really hurt. It actually made me think twice about moving here, thinking about it. But at the same time, yeah, when that big wave comes, I'll be safer here. So it's all good. Anyway, yeah, I think that'd be it for today. I hope you enjoy the LaNMan version 3. As I mentioned, there are a few updates I want to make to that now, because during, of course, no internet connection, I forgot that I put all of the style sheets via the CDN, and of course I couldn't even work on it to see what I was doing. So that is something I will be changing, so it is completely local over the next version, I guess, and there are a few questions there, so I hope you watch that, hope you enjoy it. And of course, members, again, let me know if you want a copy. I will provide it to you. I've not added it to the share drive this time for a few reasons, but all of that is explained within the video. Now, I hope you enjoy it. And until next week, where hopefully we return back to normal, and hopefully I have some work as well, which would be nice. So again, if you have anything that you need doing in Scriptcase, any business platforms, any platforms at all, any support, any adjustments, changes, whatever it is, just holler, and I am here. And of course, I'll be happy to do that for you with a big fat smile. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you very much, and I will be seeing you very soon again, thankfully, back here at Scriptcase by Jamie.